But
Pero anong pinag-usap nila?
when they asked the president to join the plane, I don't know what the exact nature was, but tempers were rising, and then eventually it died down. And former executive secretary joined the president in the aircraft.
Ito yung nung papunta na sa Netherlands.
Yes.
Doon naman sa Villamor, kasi medyo matagal pong na-hold itong si former President Duterte inside the Villamor Air Base. Was it a conscious choice talaga to bring him to Villamor Air Base? Because syempre doon yung...
of course, security was the number one issue. Comfort was not the number one issue. Proximity was the number one issue. So all those were considered, and Villamor was the best spot to bring him in.
Pero bakit tumagal, sir, yung process of flying him out of the country?
Flying commercial and flying general aviation, which is private plane, is a different process. When you board the plane, it's called an overland right, that you have permission. In this case, Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, India, Oman, UAE, Egypt, and then the rest of the countries.
Kasi ito yung mga dadaanan.
When you pass through sovereign airspace, you have to have written permission and a code in order for the aircraft to pass. You cannot just fly out.
Yes.
You will be shut down as an identified
It's
flyer.
their sovereignty.
Sovereignty. So it took a while to get the permission and the codes from the different countries in order for the plane to fly. That shows you how unprepared we were. We didn't know. We couldn't.
Surprise talaga lahat.
We couldn't plan.
So itong more than, we can say 10 countries, more than 10 countries, talagang one by one, we secured the permit for the airspace.
One by one, we called the ambassadors, we called the relevant authorities, and one by one binibigay. But it's not, you cannot ask them one by one. It's a cascade. Vietnam had to say yes. Yeah. After Vietnam says yes, Thailand says yes. After Thailand, Myanmar says yes. After Myanmar, India says yes. So it's a cascade. So it's not as simple as that.
And we only started securing the permit the moment the former president landed.
Yes.
Of course.
So talagang hindi kami handa eh. Otherwise, sana nahanda na namin yan, sinakay, less tension, alis na eh. Hindi eh. Talagang doon lang kami nagpaalam eh.
How about the plane choice, sir? Anong plane yung ginagawa?
The plane is a leased plane by the Office of the President. It's a multi-year contract, and they exercise their hours on that lease.
At ginamit natin yun for this event. Doon, so yun yung tumagal doon, kaya ang tagal natin sa Villamor. Kasi parang before lunch, nandun na si President.
Yes.
And during those periods, sir, while the government is processing, kamusta naman po si former President inside the lounge or wherever na hinolds?
It was pretty cool. Okay naman siya. But I must admit that when it did happen, he was rather melancholy. I think there were memories of the past which filled his head. I cannot speak for him, but memories of the past of 38 years ago, 37 years ago, 38 years ago, I think 39 years ago. I think he remembered a lot of it. And he said one thing to me which really struck me, because it was only the two of us going to the palace from the residence. He said, nobody should be happy. There is no reason to celebrate. Those are the two phrases which he told me just before we boarded the boat.
So parang traumatized ba siya with resemblance?
He knows that this action has further consequences, that it's not a simple, it is not for political gain. In fact, it makes the water very turbulent going down the road. But it is something he had to do as president. It is something he had to do to fulfill his mandate and to join and to be a formal member of the League of Nations.
Going back to the arrest, sir, I understand that the Malacanang, you as the Interior Chief can pick yung mga people who will implement the warrant, who can help in implementing the warrant and adhering to the rules of Interpol. So, General Nick Torre, at siya po ba ang first choice natin in implementing?
No, it was General Marbil's choice. General Marbil was assigned to form the task force, and he chose everyone else.
And ano po kaya yung nakita ni General Marbil with General Nick?
Oh, you're gonna have to ask him that. But General Torres has a superb record for these things, so I guess that was it. But you're gonna have to ask General Marbil.
And the track record, Kibuloy.
The track record, yeah, Kibuloy says so. But only General Marbil knows is the reason why.
And PG Fadulyon, of course, because he's the...
Oh, that was a necessary part of the service of warrant.
On the process, sir, na to set the record straight, nabanggit na rin kanina sa Malacanang, pero just to reiterate, ito po ba ay arrest or surrender? At kung surrender siya, sir, or arrest,
It was an arrest because his rights were read. So, in that case, the warrant was served, his rights were read, and he acknowledged to have understood those rights, and he joined the arresting party in the premises designated.
May negotiation ba, sir? Kasi
there was none.
So paano siya?
He just spent, and all he asked for is, can I have a conversation with my lawyers? And we accorded him all the necessary courtesies. Not only of the lawyer, he had sound dressing quarters, food that he requested. His family was there to join him. The party which arrived with him from Hong Kong were there to join him. Everyone was treated with deference, with respect. They called him sir, they called him Mr. President, and there was no signs of struggle, nor commotion, nor rancor inside that room.
Yung, kasi before that...
Oh, let me correct it. There were, but not on the police, not on the authority side. But I think members of his family were upset and emotional. So, that was beyond our control.
We'll get there, sir. Pero doon sa, kasi may mga sinasabi si former President Duterte na parang manlalaban daw siya, something like that, na parang hindi siya...
Oh no, he was a gentleman.
Yun nga po. Pero pagdating doon, did we prepare for all types of scenarios?
The only thing I asked that it were lady policemen to accompany him and to accost him. Because the possibilities of male policemen could have...
The temper.
Yeah, he could have raised his temper towards them. So, he agreed fully. And he was gentlemanly about it.
So, lahat ng nag-detailed na PNP personnel and officers were all women?
Yes, all wearing body cameras.
From the airplane in Naiya to Villamor and up to the jet?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. There were some men also, but they were mostly women.
So sir, doon sa speaking of commotion but not on the part of the police, but kasi nakita natin yung isa sa mga video na nag-circulate kasi habang nangyayari itong mga bagay na ito ay meron tayong mata through the daughter of former President Rodrigo Duterte, Kitty Duterte. Did we anticipate that from happening?
No, but we understood why. We didn't anticipate that, but when she did it, we didn't stop her. We didn't grab her phone. You have to understand that she's the youngest daughter.
Yes.
As far as we know. They were just together in Hong Kong. They are very close. They're very loving. And if you put yourself in Kitty's shoes, you would feel the same way. That understanding the nuances of law is beyond her comprehension. That her mind was only for the affections for her father. And that we fully understood.
So how did we handle her, sir?
She was not handled.
Doon.
She was not handled.
May mga times na sinishare niya rin yun sa kanyang Instagram source na tumakas yung boses niya.
There was no retaliation. She was screaming at General Torre, and General Torre was a gentleman about it.
And at one point, she cursed at General
He was still a gentleman about it. She was not threatened in any way. She was not bodily pushed or bodily touched in any way to make her stop. We let her express herself. We let her message come out on the media. We did not censor anything. We totally understood where she was coming from, and we just prayed that it wouldn't escalate from there.
So sir, itong